Hi everyone, welcome back. This video shows a 200 kilometer or 125 mile ATV day trip on the western side of beautiful Nova Scotia, Canada in late October. We started around Cherryfield and went to Bridgetown, Middleton, New Albany, and finally back to Cherryfield. It was in October, so you know there were lots of colorful leaves around. The trails were fantastic, and we came across a few interesting places where we found an abandoned winch boat, an old World War II era vehicle rusting away in the woods, and an old train bridge. Since this is Nova Scotia, you just know we stopped at a few lakes along the way, and I was able to spend some wheel time in the seat of Buffalo Bill's new Honda Talon. This trip all started with a phone call from my friend Bill, who asked me if I wanted to visit him at his cottage in Upper New Cornwall to go for an ATV trip. Bill and his wife Julie own a cottage in western Nova Scotia that I refer to as a little piece of heaven. It's a cozy spot on a beautiful lake with ATV trails nearby. What else could a person ask for? Bill has been on several Newfoundland trips with me in the last few years where he took his beloved Suzuki King Quad 750. It's served him well for the last 10,000 kilometers, but it was time to get a side-by-side and to get a new Honda Talon, which will be showcased in this video, of course.
Oh, is it ever? Yeah, that's a big tree. Or it was a big tree. Yeah, we're lucky they just fall on the other trees.
We came across the Sandpit, and yes, we had to play around in it for a few minutes.
Yeah. Yeah, I was just thinking that. Somebody's been up on this one, but... Oh, okay. Oh yeah, it's easy to come up from this. Yeah, cut right. Oh yeah, it's just a big, it's just a loop. Oh yeah, okay. That's not so bad. Just let it coast down with engine braking. Oh yeah, that's a neat little spot. Oh, toss that out. Oh, an old one. I don't know where that came from. Probably there since Newfoundland.
Bill asked me if I wanted to drive his new Honda Talon around for a bit, and of course I said yes. I was very interested to see how it drove and how it handled.
Oh, so different as soon as you step on the gas. There's no lag like there is in mine with the belt.
My first impression of the Honda Talon was that it's clearly built with some very nice materials. You know, it's really nicely put together. It feels expensive. The next thing I noticed was when I started to drive away and I just barely touched the gas pedal and it started rolling instantly like you would in a car. And that's something that all Honda owners or all people that have machines that don't have belts would experience. The next thing after that I remember noticing was the speedometer or the gauge cluster. I thought it was oddly placed in the middle of the machine and that it was a little on the small side. After being used to where mine is right behind the steering wheel, like anything, I think I could get used to it over time, but I really think that Honda might want to look at that for their next generation of these machines or the next design change. I would say one of the first things they should do is make the screen a little easier to read.
Oh yeah, it says stay on or turn off. Yeah. You want it off? Yeah. Okay. There we go.
I really love having those Sena Bluetooth headsets attached to our helmets so we can communicate back and forth when we're riding throughout the day. And a lot of the guys in our group that we ride with have those, and man, what a difference they make. I really, really recommend to anybody to have those. We jumped back in the machines to head off to another spot, and I started playing around with the transmission in this a bit because it's so much different than the CVT that I have in my Can-Am Commander. This has a full car-style transmission where you change the gears or it changes automatically. I let it do it automatically for a while to kind of get a feel for that. Then I was changing gears myself with the paddle shifters, which I really liked. I thought that was a lot of fun. And then there's also a sport mode. You can press the sport mode, and as you would imagine, it holds the revs a little higher between changing gears, and if you let off the gas, it'll still hold it in that lower gear, so it keeps the revs up right in the kind of in the sweet spot. And I think it has a really cool exhaust tone. It sounds really sporty. The next spot Bill took us to was this pretty cool old boat that was up out of the water in the woods. It wasn't too far from Medway Lake, and I'm not really sure the story of this. I did a little research on Google, and I came across the Russell Brothers website, and apparently they're a boat builder in Canada that made these types of boats. It was like a winch boat. On the front, you can see that there's a winch roller, and it actually still works really good considering that thing's probably been out of the water for like 70 years. Luckily for me, Bill took us on a road that was long and had some nice curves and hills to it, and it was just perfect for testing out a machine like this Honda Talon. It didn't matter if the machine was shifting itself or if I was using the paddle shifters. It was a lot of fun driving on this trail. Now my Commander's only 58 inches wide at the wheels, and this Talon is 62 inches, I believe. No, 64, sorry. And you really notice the difference on turns and corners like this because it just handles so well and is so stable. And it's just a lot of fun. Another thing we came across was this old vehicle, looked like it was from about World War II era, and I have no idea what it used to be. Some kind of a transporter, like a people transporter, or for goods and items and that type of thing. But it was really interesting to see it sitting here. I'm sure it has a really cool story. If anybody watching the video knows what this vehicle used to be or what it was used for, I'd love to see if you would put a comment down below. We also came across this really big rock out in the woods, which was kind of strange, like nothing else around like that. The size of that. Good perspective there with someone standing next to it. And the next place Bill took me was a memorial site for a plane crash that happened back in 1944. There were 2 British airmen killed on this small Mosquito plane that had crashed. and there's still some remnants of the plane that are still in the woods there as well. And then a ways up the trail, Bill took me to another spot, an old railway bridge with a tunnel underneath it. So we decided to walk down underneath and go check it out. It's a good thing the light on my cell phone was bright because I didn't have a flashlight with me otherwise. And then after that, we stopped at a trail that you had to walk downhill quite a ways to get to this nice waterfall. And the views where we were on this lookout with the sun breaking through the clouds on all the colored leaves, it was just beautiful. It was just an incredible day out on the trails, enjoying nature and having fun in these incredible side-by-side machines. And we got back to our trucks, loaded up all of our gear, and headed back to Bill's cottage. Thanks for watching, everyone. And if you like what you saw, please consider hitting the subscribe button and the notification bell next to it to get notified the next time I upload a video.